There are many mysterious things and people in this world. Whether it is paranormal activity or natural occurrences, there's always something creepy or unusual going on. Many strange happenings take time to fully unearth. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 mysterious people. Man of the Hole found living alone in the Amazon rainforest in 1996. Brazil is known for having some of the oldest uncontacted tribes in the world. Whilst you may have heard of these tribes before, have you heard of the loneliest man in the world? He's a man in his 50s who's been living in the Amazon rainforest for 25 years. He previously lived with a tribe, but his fellow tribe members were attacked and passed away. The Brazilian government has an indigenous agency called FUNAI, which has been monitoring the man from a distance since 1996. They do so to prove that he's alive and to renew a restriction on the land he uses in his day-to-day life. Previously, they had only captured a blurry photograph back in 1998, until recently when they got their hands on something much better. FUNAI captured video footage from afar in 2018. It shows him in the forest working to chop down a tree. The video was shared with political motivation after FUNAI's budget was cut. They hope to draw attention to the indigenous rights within the country. This video is also exciting because, before this, we had not seen much of this unknown man. Whilst there have been numerous research reports that have looked into his life, he is uncontacted. That means that no one outside the tribe has spoken to him, that we know of. His tribe's name and language still remain unknown as well, not leaving us with much to go off of. Aside from being referred to as the loneliest man in the world, he's also been called the Hole Indian. As you can imagine, this name was given because he has been known to leave behind deep holes in the forest. Experts believe he was using them to hide or trap animals. Researchers have also discovered straw huts and various tools that have been made by hand. Many are surprised that this man has survived alone for so long and still remains in excellent health from what we can see. However, FUNAI claims that they would love to learn more about the man, but he has only acted in a violent manner in the past. He has made it very clear that he doesn't want people to contact him by shooting arrows at anyone who comes his way. Whilst it may seem aggressive and unnecessary, he has a very good reason to be concerned for his well-being. After all, his entire tribe was attacked, and he was left to fend for himself. Farmers and illegal loggers are also after the land this man lives on, which means he is constantly in danger of those who hope to steal his land and will do whatever it takes to get rid of the tribe for good. The man could also contract serious illnesses if he were to get in contact with the outside world. Therefore, researchers have made it clear that it's best to protect him without asking too many questions. What will happen to this man in the future? How long will he be protected or survive? It's difficult to say, as things are constantly changing. It would be great to receive more information regarding his lifestyle, language, and tribe's name, but we may never find out. Andreas Grassi, the Piano Man. Our next mysterious person is none other than Andreas Grassi, better known as Piano Man. He is a German man who was 20 years old when he was admitted to the Kent Hospital in the UK. He was found near a beach on the Isle of Sheppey, soaking wet. He had no identification on him, and when brought to the hospital, he was unable to speak to the healthcare workers. It appeared as if he had washed ashore and people saw him near an abandoned boat. He was found when he had made his way into town, delusional and unable to talk. Once brought to the hospital, they cleaned him up and worked on discovering who he was. They spent 4 months trying to figure out where this man was from and what his name was. Instead of talking, he dazzled the hospital with his ability to play the piano. As he sat by the piano and worked his magic, he was calm and finally able to relax. Reporters and experts worked tirelessly to get to know the Piano Man and get a photo of him. The problem was, any time someone new came near him, he would scream. A photographer tried to find a way to get an image of the man without such a visceral reaction. He hid in the bushes with his camera in hand and was able to capture 5 photos before he spotted him. When he saw the photographer, he began making unusual noises and strange faces. The photographer left to develop the photos in a darkroom and see how the photos turned out. 2 did not turn out, so he was left with only 3 images. To this day, those are the only photos that have ever been taken of him. You may be wondering, if he was unable to speak, how was he identified? His father, Joseph Grassi, eventually came forward when his son was featured all over the media. He refused to speak for the entirety of his stay at the hospital, but he would play the piano that impressed the hospital staff. Finally, after months of suffering from severe depression, he broke his silence and said he was from Germany. He eventually returned home to Germany shortly after. His family was overcome with relief when he came home to live with them. Later, his lawyer described him as mentally ill, although it has not been confirmed. What do you think happened to Piano Man before he was found? Do you think it is unusual that he was unable to speak and only found comfort in the piano? It's interesting to see how people cope with different situations, and whilst we don't have all the missing pieces to this mystery, it's certainly nice to know that he brought joy to others during his time in the hospital. Monsieur Ciucciani. Our final mysterious person is Monsieur Ciucciani. He has also been referred to as Shoshani, and was known as a Jewish teacher in Europe after World War II. There is not much that people know about the man. His real name is still unknown, even after he passed away in Uruguay in 1968. No one can also be too sure about where he was from. When the war ended, he began exploring the globe and teaching from the Torah. While his work is not known by all, his students have seen his intelligence and hope to carry on his legacy. He was vastly knowledgeable in many subjects, including science, philosophy, maths, and Talmud, which is Jewish religious law. He spent a great deal of time teaching in Paris after the war, although he left to go to Israel and then eventually ended up in South America after a brief stop back in Paris. Many referred to him as a prodigy or genius. Ever since he passed away, people have wondered what he was about and where he came from. His followers continue to refer to themselves as his disciples. He remains a modern legend, coming and going without leaving a trace and changing people's lives for the better. It's unbelievable that to this day we don't have more information about this man who had such an impact on others. Maybe over time, we will begin to discover more about this legend. After exploring the stories of these unusual men, it's not uncommon to have endless questions. Where did these men come from? What are their real names? How did they survive under the specific circumstances they endured? Although they remain a mystery, they still live on in the minds of many. All we can hope for is more answers in the future. But what do you make of these 3 mysterious men? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community, working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.